Right. I can't believe how crazy it's been this last week, just watching the news, everything about Russia and Ukraine and China and Iran. It's just so much. It's just wild to follow the news, and I've been trying to take my mind off it, but what I've been doing has been I've been doing pretty well with GLD calls. I've been trading those. Look at this high, 193. Wow. I remember this. This was a euphoric experience here, having GLD rise so much. There was a point there when I bought a call, and I'd buy another call, and I would just always make sure I had an open call, and I'd just continue to buy and sell, and eventually I was holding calls that, were pure profit. Just it was nuts. And so I did buy a few more here during the dip. I said, hey, why not? And whoa, that's whew. Okay, so when we did gap down, that was a little scary, but you can see the price went print up, which was pretty good. This just looks like a little retracement. I mean, look at this. This is nuts. This is a crazy chart. You have this amazing consolidation, and look at this tear gold has been on. It's just unstoppable. And I thought maybe it might have like this ascending broadening wedge kind of a look. Like if I duplicate the trend line and I move it up like this, you can see I have the touch points, don't I? Like there's B1, that would be 2, that would be 3, and on the bottom side there's a couple here and here. So that's enough touch points, and well, the price target for the ascending broadening wedge, if it breaks down, is going to be the start of the pattern, which is back down here at like 167. But I have an inkling that this is not going to break down, and you did see gold pull up when it did reach that level, that supporting trend line. So I'm still very bullish on GLD, on gold, for a lot of reasons, for a lot of fundamental reasons. Just the sheer nature of inflation that we've seen from the coronavirus funding is going to cause a rise in gold. It's just what I love about commodities is that there's actually some level of intrinsic value law that can't be broken. You inflate the money supply, and guess what? Gold goes up, and it's just, you just can't seem to stop that. It just is true. And that's what I love about the commodity space, is that it feels like it's more grounded in fundamental value than anything else, less extrinsic value, because it's just the way it works with gold. It's money. It's the one true money everyone can agree on. That's what the IMF deals with, right? It's gold. That's what central banks hold in their vaults, is gold. So here we go. Watching GLD do incredible things. I haven't really looked at the charts much. I'm gonna zoom out into the week, and oh my god. Look at that weekly candle. That looks like it might be topping out, right? That's what that big fat wick would imply. And that's very possible that, we could be seeing something like that, but I don't know. The RSI isn't quite overbought yet on the weekly time frame. That's nuts. We have seen an incredible surge in volume. Just look at this volume. Incredible. I just cannot believe what I'm seeing. I mean, I can't believe it, but it seems like this has been a long time coming. I started buying silver when I was 18, and that was 2008. So to watch the metals make these kinds of tears really makes me happy. Doesn't that look like a nice rounding kind of a bottom? Do you see that, how that works? I have this trend line in red, and you can see that's been broken now by the supporting uptrend, which was basically just a support for this big push up. And this is just nuts. It's like it's exploding, right? And I really think that the rally has just begun, and we're going to see some really incredible things here in the commodity space. And when retail traders get into here, I wonder if that little extra nudge can't just make the tipping point into some incredible rallies. It's interesting. I'm been watching mainstream media very carefully to see how they characterize retail traders for the next few weeks, because I mean I've been watching Meet Kevin, and he's been talking about, people are getting into wheat and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, that's not what you should be doing. You should not. That's not a trade you should be making. Like, leave that shit alone. Oh my fucking god. What the fuck? But gold is different, okay? god, there's a fundamental, like, a normal reason for gold to go up, and that's inflation, which we know has been nuts. We had inflation news come out, right? And it was bad. Inflation's bad. No one's even surprised anymore. It's so common, and now everyone's talking about the Fed and how they're going to approach this next meeting. And you know, I think they've got to do what they've got to do. I think the rates are going to go up, and the markets are going to hate it. It's just going to have to be that way. Like, how long can you like live in denial that inflation is really high, that this is unprecedented, that the coronavirus, you really think that we're going to get away from the coronavirus stimulus package effects so easily, you know? Does anybody remember what happened in 2008? We had a financial crisis and we had all this funding, the TARP funding hit the markets, and like that shit went on for a long time. They called it the Great Recession, okay? Recovering from the crashes that come from these exuberant sprees of funding are it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work, and I don't even think we've even started to deal with it yet. Like, the economy isn't a really, really good place, and you have to wonder why the Fed's letting the economy build at this rate. Well, I think they want to hit it running. I think they want to hit it running. They want strong job market, right? We got good GDP, earnings have been really, really, really good, and I think we've only just started to see the bleed in the stock market. I really think that we're probably going to see a crash here, you know, so to speak. And they're going to want the economy to be in good shape, ready to work through that, because it's going to take a lot of effort, I think. So anyway, I'm just mumbling, and that's fine. This is my journal, right? So I will get to AMC. I know that there's people who just watch my channel for AMC, which is fine, you know. But I'm not always watching AMC so much, but I do have a lot to say about AMC, and I will get there. So this is the SPY. I've been following the SPY very, very, very closely, and you know, I've been looking for pipe top and bottoms here, and this is not quite that, but this is a bearish weekly candle. Look at that nasty fat red candle. It's like, did it close like on this double top price target from back here? That's incredible. Look at the analysis. You know, that technical analysis is so reliable. Is actually a flaw in the philosophy of the stock market, because the technical analysis just shows how money is moving around. Basically, that's how I see it, right? And if everyone's just deriving value from what we all think everybody else is going to think, that's not like, what is that? It shouldn't work this well. It shouldn't work this well. But here you go. This is the analysis, right? This is like a confirmed measured move down on a weekly time frame. Okay, you've got this first leg right here in yellow from the high of 479 dropping down way down here. What was the low here at 420.76? Nice. And then this big bounce and boom, double top, and this was a big corrective phase, right? So you have 1, 2, and now this massive surge down, which was met with a strong rally here. And I disagreed with that rally. I said, that's reckless. Like, come on, the market's making a move down, and we have a price target at 404. I mean, yeah, it didn't quite get there, but I think the pattern, it has some more downside to it, just a little more downside from the beginning. I mean, I guess you could start the whole wedge from this these big pipes here. That would be a good spot. It's pretty indicative of a strong move, so that'd be a good point. But I think there's still more downside on, and you know, okay, so this looks like a measured move down, and then this last week candle is the first week that we've closed below, let's see here, each of these weeks have all closed above that 430 level, 431, and that's where we started this week, and now we find ourselves down here at 419. So there was some support here, and now we're closing down there instead of bouncing. I think the market just let go of the support it found back here. Maybe there was just a short covering rally, you know, bearish positions taking profits, you know, that can cause that, and then the bulls fail to show up, and then okay, the bears just take control again. And it's been really interesting watching the RSI in this really clean downtrend. I'm going to turn this on to the daily so I can show the RSI downtrend. Look at this downtrend. I can't remember when I drew this, but I just said, hey, you know what, there's this like really obvious trend in this on the RSI, and I'm just gonna, and you can show this, you can see that when the RSI reaches that trend, you know, we had this topping, poof, This was awkward. I thought we'd just see a sharp turn down, but instead we saw this little bounce, right? I mean, the price was just spinning around that 430 level. That was a strong level, and we saw that level broke. And this is bad, right? Bearish engulfing candle right here. You know, this is bearish. It seems like a gap down and a close, a new low down somewhere above 400, but that could be, yeah, I can see that happening. Look at the RSI, right? It's just heading down. And it looks like it's about ready to break out. One side or to the other. I mean, sheesh. What's it gonna do? Keep consolidating? There's a consolidation pattern here, no doubt. There's undoubtedly some expression of consolidation. Okay, so this is supposed to be blank, but it's not. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make it blank. Clear drawing set, yeah. And I was thinking maybe there could be like a triangle in here, maybe. Something through here, maybe? Yeah, and then kind of have that rough shape. Like, I don't really know. It'd be really hard, but maybe something like that? Maybe something like that instead? There's something here, and it's a lot of pressure. It looks like a lot of pressure is building. You can see these volume spikes are coming down, but the 30 period average has been coming up, right? So we have an overall higher volume trend, and that trend is overall decreasing. So we're coming to the end of a high volume trend right now. This looks like we're going to have a big move. I mean, you can see this high volume downtrend, but you can see that this line down here is still rising. And that's because the volume's been relatively high. And so if we come down here, we'll see less volume, right? Less volume. So yeah, there is something big cooking up here. This is a pretty big pattern, and it features a really beautiful double top. I mean, this is just, it's perfect. And it's nailing its price target, right? And now it's like we have this inverted cup and handle forming in here. Does anybody else see that? You know, it has like a bulge in it right here, but you know, there you go. There's your inverted cup, right? And its handle, right? Okay, there you go. It's kind of how I see it, you know. If this were upside down, I would say, hey, this could be ready to go up. But in this instance, that would mean down. So I'm really bearish, and yeah, it's a little stressful thinking about this stuff now because it's like, oh my god. But whatever. I'm just gonna keep trading and see what happens. And that's the SPY. And let's look at AMC, because AMC moves in context with the SPY for some reason. God, what is going on this? What is going on this chart? I feel like I need to break this down to see what I was trying to look at. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. So this is my trend line analysis on AMC, and I've been really firm about this trend line right here. I said this thing needs to break before I'm bullish, alright? This is the trend line, and you can see that the price actually, right when it encountered that trend line, it fell into this awesome handle, and it's a falling wedge, and it broke out to the upside, and there's a measured move up in there, right? And I thought there'd be more upside here, but the price got captured and sent downward, and it formed this topping pattern, and it's like, ooh, that's a double top in there, right? There's a couple. And you just look at the price melt down, and then this is classic AMC action. The last time I saw this kind of action where you just had this inverted, like, look at this valley through here. Very comparable to the valley that preceded it. I mean, look at this. It's like it pivots, right? And it mirrors itself like a perfect inflection, and it does it here too on this side. It's just a beautiful thing, and it's just really fun to watch. It's terrible to trade. It hurts to trade, but I've been playing puts on AMC again, and that's been doing pretty well as well. And I think what we actually saw is a breakout down this last week. Maybe we need one more close a little lower, but closing below 1340. Boom, next leg down. This is just the recovery phase of a big measured move down, right? If I hit that downtrend, that's leg 1. And this is all of the corrective phase, you know, for leg 2, and then we're about to see 3, and we're about to depart from that trend line again and move away from it like we did down here to 1340. So I'm thinking that AMC, it might follow the SPY down. It just looks like it's susceptible to that. That's how I see it. Let's look at it on my default chart drawings. You can see that triangle, we did not pull back up into it. That's where that double top formed. It was at the resistance of that pattern right there, that horizontal level of support and resistance, and then boom, got rejected, found support, and then failed, and now this seems to be accelerating. Look at that. That thing is ready to go. And sitting right on that critical level of 1424. And that was a descending triangle target. Let me show you what this looks like on the daily chart. This has been some amazing charting. These patterns haven't failed me ever on any of the charts. It's incredible what you could do with this technical analysis. It shouldn't work like this well, but it does. So that looks nasty. That's a huge double top, right? And the price closing below the rim of that pattern, that's incredibly bearish. And the RSI looks like it's getting ready to go lower. Yeah, oof, turning twice the RSI before even getting close to 55, and now it's heading down further, about to set a new low. And again, you can see volumes is in a downtrend, it looks like. So we could see another high volume event here. Implied volatility is low for AMC. You know, it's just been like, wow, 110. I'm used to seeing it like way up here. 180, yeah, woo! Look at the implied volatility back here. This is nuts. So it's relatively low. Let's pull it up on a weekly scale. Let's have a look. Yeah, implied volatility is as low as it ever gets before it makes another big move. Oh my god, is this a predictive indicator? Am I true? Okay, let's figure that shit out right now. I'm just gonna record it. Oh god, this is gonna be so long. But what do I care? Sometimes it'll be fun. Just, I don't know. Okay, so there. Okay, there's a low point. Here's a low point right here. And there's a low point. That's a little higher. See how it's higher through there? Last one was back here. So, ooh, it went down there. Wow. Got clobbered. How about right here? Yeah, let's see. That was kind of a bounce. That was that really awkward neutral move. Interesting. Man, this is a big chart. This is a big ass chart. Yeah, you can see that reflective thing, you know? It's like mirrored price action right there. That's where it mirrors, is at the implied volatility lows. And then there too, that's like, it did the same thing with pipes. If I show you what that looks like, let me go into the 4 hour and go back there. I'll show you where those pipes are, right here. Yep, and you can see, look at that. It's like it comes up and then it just goes down, and it's like this really nice clean hits and just these really controlled moves. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then boom, supports, consolidation. This is incredible stuff. It just looks so, and then again here, boom, hits resistance, reflects itself, and then it heads down again, and it's just so clean the way it seems to be swinging, you know? That's what it feels like to me. It's like left arm, right arm, and it just kind of travels through, you know? And sometimes it goes down. It goes down and down and down. But this looks really bad. Yeah, and implied volatility is starting to rise on the 4 hour on this new downtrend. We haven't had a lot of closes in the 4 hour chart here at this 1424. So yeah, to see it hit that is, oof, that is crazy. And it looks like we're at the apex of this descending triangle. So it's time for me to find a new pattern to identify on this chart. I'm not particularly a fan of trying to overlap much with this triangle. I know that the pattern is outside of this triangle that whole time, but I think that what we're looking at is just a clean and dirty measured move down, right? You got the first leg right here, boom, 1. The corrective phase, which was a high back here, but you know, it ends at the end of the triangle, and now what we're going to see is that third leg, the extension. Okay, and it's going to go down, and it's going to go way down. It's going to find new low. That's how I interpret the chart. We're going to find a new low, a new lower low here, and I'm hovering somewhere around 11. Yeah, this is nuts. This is crazy, and I drew this forever ago. I'm going to show the $7 price target thing because this is nuts. I did this for a while ago. This is the subscriber killer. That's what I call it. It's called, this is the subscriber killer. Here's my subscription count. But I saw this descending triangle, and it fits this perfect Elliott wave analysis, you know, Bilkowski's Elliott wave analysis of a descending triangle. And when it broke out, it just made this perfect, the start of this measured move down, and then it just clean hit down. And now what I've seen is that we've had this corrective trend, and this is a weekly chart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for 6 weeks that I've been watching this corrective phase play out. And I didn't trade AMC very much recently in the past few weeks, and that's why, because I know that we've been in this big consolidation pattern and that the price would move less and be a little harder for swing trades. So I've only recently got back into it, and as you can see, that corrective trend has clearly broken. Not only did the price break out and close below the trend, but there was also, as you can see, a little attempt to test that breakout price, and then it reversed and came down and closed outside of it. So we have the 1, 2, and 3 trend change rules per Bilkowski on this, and we can start to look for a downtrend, a new downtrend to establish, or just to continue the downtrend we already have. Let me turn on the trend line analysis. You know, there it is. Yeah, on the weekly chart, that shows up as a clear pull back. It's a pull back or a throwback. I think it's a throwback because it was an upward breakout, right? Yeah, price broke out and above, so then it threw back and down to the downtrend. And so what we're looking for here is continuation. And yes, the price really should close outside of the low in the corrective phase, but it's just such a clean breakout move from the trend line. I would probably trust this. Like I'm trading it. Like I'm holding puts on AMC right now. I know people don't like that, but it's like, you know what? People, if you want to help the company, let the company sell shares. Let the company make a share offering. The company doesn't need the stock price unless they can sell shares to raise money. They're gonna need that, right? They have obligations too. They got a lot of help during the coronavirus pandemic, and what happens when that help runs out, you know? So, you know, I don't know, but I think the company would do better with more cash in hand than a needlessly high stock price. You know, if you really like the company needs money. But you know, the insiders are selling it, you know, because I think it's pretty clear the price still has a ways to go. The shorts that have been loading into these stocks, including American Eagle Outfitters, it's like this is it. They're about to get their big payday, which is crazy to me. But but you know, everyone knows the market's overvalued. Everyone's done that for a long time. I remember like back in the pandemic, like during lockdowns, they were talking about, you know, hey, we already know the markets are really high. Well, it's been like a year and a half since then, 2 years, it's been 2 years, so so yeah, I think the writing's been on the wall for a while, and this week the Fed's just going to show us how badly it's going to hurt. The market's not going to go up, probably. The market's probably going to drop, and then we'll see what happens. I've been kind of expecting a flash crash. I thought the S&P would look really sporting with a vertical drop, like a sheer drop, and then just a glorious bounce, like this triumphant hurrah, big fat pipe bottom. Let me show you the SPY. I want to pull up the SPY when I talk about this. I think the most dramatic story we could see in the SPY, and this is kind of, I mean, if the markets have to correct, if the price is going to drop, and we need to get we need to disinflate the money supply, or, you know, yeah, we need to disinflate the markets. We need the Fed to freaking unload its balance sheet, basically. How long can they keep that up? Like, do you remember? I remember in 2008, it seemed like, oh wow, this is historic, this will never happen again. And now it's like, no, it's happening all the time. And it's like the normal thing. And the markets are hooked on this drug, you know, the Federal Reserve just stimulating the markets just like a crazy amount. And can we really keep that up at this point with inflation like it is? It is a good question, and if there was ever a moment for it to change, why not now? Why not now? Oh man, nuts. So this is what I'm looking for. Something just a bomb, just a tank. Like, I'm serious, like straight down to 360. Yeah, like just absolutely tank. Pull one of these. And then the SPY is really good at these weird, awkward bounce rallies, right? And then I think to consolidate here for a while and then form a handle out here. This is what that is what I want to see happen in the SPY. Similar to here, you see how it drops and it comes up, and then we have this nice little handle before an upward breakout and a continuation of that uptrend, right? Something like that now I think would be a good start, right? And if it turns out things aren't nearly what we thought they were, you know, maybe we find ourselves into a longer consolidation pattern, right? And we find ourselves in this massive triangle, and the markets are generally just kind of grinding sideways, it seems, without making a whole lot of gains, but neither are also completely falling into a state of decay and ruin. I do think though that the price does need to come down a bit, probably a bit more. I'm not totally clued into how overinflated the markets are. I'm not a genius or anything. It's just the nature of the unprecedented level of stimulus that have gone on forever and somehow become normal. Oh God.